If you are single and you are wondering what sort of movement you can expect in your love life, then you are in the right place, and definitely keep on watching because we are going to be looking at who is coming toward you in love. We have 4 decks to choose from and they go as such. For pile number 1, we have the Soul Journey Tarot. For pile number 2, we have the Rainbow Tarot. For pile number 3, we have the Unfolding Path Tarot. And finally, for pile number 4, we have the Lumina Tarot. To choose the right reading for you, make sure that you are completely tuning out any distractions that could be around you, that you are centered and present in this moment so that you could most easily hear or sense what sort of sensations, signals, messages are coming in inside of your body, so that you could follow your intuition and see which pile calls out to you the most. Now, as always, I urge you to trust your intuition, but also please use your discernment as you are watching this general reading, because not all of the messages may resonate for you. And whenever you are ready, you can go into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. That will take you to your desired reading. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 1. So you chose the Soul Journey Tarot, and we are going to be looking at these tarot cards in just a second, because first we are going to turn our focus on some pre-prepared oracle cards, which, if this is not your first time on this channel, then you are already familiar with that's how we roll. So these oracle cards are going to tell us a bit about the most significant recent or past relationship and love experiences that you have had. And so, if you resonate with whatever's coming through from these messages, then it'll most likely be a lot easier for you to decipher whether you are watching the right pile or not. And if you don't resonate with these messages, that's fine. You can just choose another pile and see whether you maybe resonate with those messages more. But yeah, let's get into it. So we have abundance, the world, we have the tree, hostilities, and community. Okay, pile number 1. Now, I am getting a feeling that when it comes to your recent love life experiences, and even if they haven't been that recent, there seems to be some sort of difficulties that you have faced. And mainly, I have to say, I'm getting a very strong focus on difficulties when it comes to the sort of preferences that you have in either like your sexual orientation or the people that you feel drawn to, and how that somehow clashes with what your family or what your community or your ancestors, your heritage, what that demands of you, or how they sort of have a hard time accepting your preferences or the sort of relationships that you are drawn to. But we will get to that in just a bit. And again, I'm just saying that is a very sort of specific message that is coming through. So if that doesn't resonate for you, then keep on watching, because there are more messages here. So I first want to say that I do feel like you have been putting yourself out there possibly a lot more than you have done, because we have this abundance card. And so this is clearly referencing a plethora, right? That there is a lot of activity. So it could be that you have been sort of going out a bit more, that you have been meeting new people more, that you have been trying to expand your horizons. I'm also saying it because of this, the world card. You may have been trying different things that you haven't tried in the past when it comes to finding the right person for you, or just, you know, going on dates, possibly even, again, going on dates with people that you previously wouldn't really have considered as like potential partners for you. But it feels like there is some sort of an open-minded attitude, or some sort of, yeah, just openness that I feel is here, that you have embraced, or that you have tried incorporating into your love life and your dating and all of those sort of activities. Also with abundance, it does feel like maybe you have gone on like a lot of dates, and, you know, maybe they really haven't led anywhere, but it feels like you have quite a lot of experience. Now, also, it could just refer to you having had a lot of like love or relationship experiences. So maybe you have had sort of relationships or situationships, and maybe you have gone through quite several of them that didn't really lead anywhere, or that didn't really have a very long-term duration. But it definitely feels like whatever sort of relationships or situationships you have gone through, they have taught you a lot, especially because we have the world here. And I do feel like you have grown so much from the experiences that you have had, and they have sort of opened up your perspective on the world, and also possibly on yourself, and again, of what is acceptable to you, what isn't acceptable to you. Like, there's just a lot of this like growth and expansion that the world brings about. Also with the world, there is obviously this element of like the internet, or like having this global connectivity. So possibly as well with this abundance card, you may have been trying out online dating apps, all of these things. Maybe you have tried like every single thing under the sun that you can think of that would make it easier for you to connect with someone, or to find the right person for you. And I also feel like with the world, it could even be that maybe you have had relationships that have been either long distance, or where you have been dating someone that is from a foreign country. So maybe a very significant relationship in your life that taught you a lot, or that did help you to sort of break out of any molds or anything like that. Maybe that person was from a different country, or from a different cultural background from you. And so that, like, you know, expanded your mindset and taught you a lot as well. So that all of that sort of thing is coming through here with both of these cards. Now, here is where we get to this part of like breaking out of some molds that have been either placed on you from your family, and also possibly having, as I said, like these same-sex relationships or something like that. And especially, I feel that very strongly with this community and this tree, or this tree card, which talks about like your roots and heritage and your ancestry and all of that. But because we have this rainbow on this community card, and I don't know why, I have never seen the rainbow in this card in that way, but it just makes me feel of like, you know, having some sort of growth outside of the norms or the traditions of your community, of your family, or just wanting to belong to a different community as well. Something that is separate from, again, with this tree card, where you come from, your familial expectations and all of that. And also, because smack dab in the middle of both of these cards, we have this hostilities card. So there is clearly some sort of like misunderstanding, clashing, conflict, people having very harsh views or very rigid views that do not align with what it is that you envision or what it is that you want for yourself. And there being these, you know, these tensions. And so that's why I felt very strongly the specific message of possibly having had to rebel against you know, the sort of the norms or the rules or the expectations that your family or your ancestors have placed upon you when it comes to dating and love and relationships and marriage possibly as well. So you may have had a lot of pressure from that sense, and you may have felt under a lot of pressure as well from your family to settle down and to, you know, go through the motions. That is like expected in society, right? But I also feel like, you know, just coming out of this more specific message that you may have sort of learned a lot when it comes to, you know, just like breaking out of certain relationship dynamics or certain relationship patterns that you sort of went through over and over, or something that kept on repeating. And maybe with this hostilities card, it feels like at one point you decided to not go through that again, or not follow a certain like path that you had already walked down and that didn't really work for you. So with this hostilities, I also feel like you yourself have worked really, really hard to break out of these, again, these relationship patterns that just aren't working, that are somehow unhealthy, or possibly again repeating some sort of like ingrained patterns or family like these relationship dynamics that you see repeating over and over and over again. So just, you know, as a very simple example, maybe your parents and your grandparents and everyone sort of in your family line have had several marriages and have had several divorces, and it has always been like a very difficult sort of thing for in your family to like settle down and find the right partner. So maybe this is something that you yourself did as well, or that sort of pattern maybe continued with you, where you went through a lot of partners, but then, you know, things just didn't work out, and you always sort of seem to end up in these relationships that somehow break apart. But yeah, it feels like with this hostilities and with this community, it feels like you were trying to do things differently, or you have been trying to break these patterns and just find something that would be more aligned with you, something that would be more healthy, something that would be more sustainable as well, and make you really feel like you belong. So I do feel like you are after a sort of a stable, grounded relationship, something that would last the test of time. But obviously, as we have been talking, there have been so many experiences and lessons that you have gone through, and there have been quite a few hardships and bumps in the road for you. So yeah, it just feels like you haven't really clicked and you haven't really found what you were looking for. So if that's something like some of these experiences are something that you resonate with and you recognize them within your own life, then definitely keep on watching, because we are going to be tuning into the tarot portion next and looking at who is coming toward you in love. So first, we are going to look at the next significant event in your love life. Whoa, okay. So you get 3 cards. We have the King of Wands, we have the Moon, and we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, with the 9 of Swords coming out in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so one more specific message that I am feeling here, that is most likely not going to resonate with all of you, is that if you have someone, specifically like a King of Wands type person who may be a Leo or just any other fire sign, so Aries or Sagittarius, they could also be, you know, have serious or significant placements in those signs. If you have a person that you have been sort of talking to, or that is somehow like on the horizon for you right now, then it could be that, like, especially, I feel like I need to clarify, especially if that person is someone that has been somewhat elusive, or that hasn't really been too stable for you. So it's almost been like this on again, off again, or like hot and cold type relationship with the moon being here. You know, if this has been a relationship where there isn't too much like stability or too much security and things have just sort of been very wishy-washy, then I feel like the next significant event could be that you decide to like walk away from that with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like you are done waiting around for them, or that you could be demanding some sort of answer, demanding some sort of clarity about where this whole thing is going and how you can move forward. Because the Seven of Pentacles in reverse is really about deciding to not really invest in something anymore, or at the very least do some serious reassessments when it comes to, you know, keeping something going or following something the way that you have been doing it. It just feels like, you know, there is this breaking point, especially with the Nine of Swords that is coming out in reverse as well. It feels like you are done with, you know, being in this anxious, unclear state, and you're just ready for this to be over and to have some sort of clarity. So that is just something that, as I said, feels much more certain, much more like specific, that is coming through here. But if you don't have any specific people on your horizon right now, then it just feels like this King of Wands energy is more so talking about you. And I do feel like you are sort of stepping into this position where you are starting to be like even more proactive, or where you are deciding to take more action or be more decisive about, you know, putting yourself out there, starting to possibly again try some new things as well. That even though that's something that came through with these oracle cards as well, I feel like you could even like expand upon that, because with the moon there is a very heavy energy of like facing some fears or walking into the unknown. So you could be deciding to, like, again, broaden your horizons even more, instead of just, you know, waiting around, or again doing the things that you have been doing for quite some time and that possibly haven't really been yielding too many results, and that haven't been bringing you what you were after. So, and especially with the Nine of Swords at the bottom here too, it does feel like you are facing some fears, that you are stepping more so into your power and following your own vision, regardless of like how other people react to it, or what other people think about it. With this King of Wands, I'm loving this King of Wands energy, because it's just so like confident and assured, like self-assured. And I feel like that is like, again, if that sort of person is not around you, then it does seem like you are the one who is going to be stepping into this energy and just facing some of these fears that you may have been battling. And I don't know, again, this is a more specific message, but if any of you have had your eye on a person that maybe you thought was like, I don't know, out of your league, or that you haven't really had the courage to go up to and ask out, or to even just let them know that you are interested in them in any sort of way, then I feel like there could be this like breakthrough moment for you, where you sort of decide to just like throw caution to the wind and again, like face up to that fear and go and ask them out, or let them know that you are interested, or just strike up a conversation. Because again, with the Seven of Pentacles, there is definitely an end to waiting around and just sort of being more receptive. And with this King of Wands, there is much more of this like, again, this more like hands-on approach, where you sort of decide to take matters into your own hands and just see what happens and step into this very bold and confident energy. And I love that. So let's look at the characteristics of the person that is coming toward you. So your next sort of potential relationship partner. Let's see what they are like. Okay. we have the Eight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Okay, interesting. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords. Okay, so clearly we have this Queen of Cups that is coming through as the characteristics of the person that you that is potentially your next relationship partner. Now, the Queen of Cups is a card of Cancer, but it can also talk about any other water sign, so that could be Scorpio or Pisces too. And clearly, because we have the Eight of Cups coming through here too, which is another water element card, this person may have significant water in their birth chart, or they could just embody more of these traits that are associated with water signs. So I mean, this is coming through as feminine energy, but it doesn't have to, mean that the person that is potentially your next relationship partner is a female. It is just coming through as very nurturing, very caring. The Queen of Cups energy also represents someone who is a very good listener and is a very good confidant, someone that you can really rely on, someone who is very empathetic, but also who has a lot of emotional intelligence, in the sense that they most likely have a way of seeing right through you. And sometimes it's like they understand what is going on with you better than you do yourself. And it's almost like they can intuit what it is that you need. So it's like when you need time to be alone, they can sort of sense that you need to be on your own, and they are like giving you that space. Or when you actually need someone to rely on, or someone to help you go through something, then they almost like intuitively know that they are needed. And so I feel like they have a lot of this like emotional patience and a lot of emotional capacity to support you through whatever it is that you are going through, but also to just have a lot of like compassion. And I feel like they are very good at working through any issues or any problems that could arise, any conflicts. It also feels like they are not one to be very like domineering or too pushy when it comes to getting what it is that they want, or they are much more subtle in expressing their desires and expressing their needs. And so sometimes it could be somewhat like difficult for you to read them and understand what it is that they need. But I also feel like if you have the patience and the dedication to actually get to the bottom of things, then they are more than happy to open up, because it does feel like they are emotionally very vulnerable and very open. So it is easy to work through any issues, and it is easy to connect with them. But with the Eight of Cups, I also feel like they know very clearly what it is that they want and what it is that they don't want, because it feels like they have gone through some pretty heavy experiences in the past. Most likely they are someone who is more of a long-term relationship person. And so I feel like the experiences that they have gone through have also been more so in long-term relationships and steady and committed relationships. And so there could be some baggage that they are dealing with, or that they are still carrying with them. But ultimately, I feel like they have also learned so much from these experiences that now they have, as I said, a very clear idea of what it is that they are willing to put up with and what it is that they are not willing to endure in a relationship. Yeah, it also could be that they, the last relationship that they came out of was a very long-standing relationship and a very seriously committed relationship. But with the Queen of Cups coming out upright, it does feel like they are in a good and secure place within themselves. Now, we have these Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So again, it could indicate that they are somewhat close-minded about the sort of relationship that they are looking for and the sort of person that they are looking for. So it's almost like they are not really willing to compromise on their standards. And I also get this sense that with the Two of Swords, they could have a very clear idea about like where they stand, and it could be difficult to get them to like change their mind about something that they feel very set on. But yeah, generally I feel like they are very accommodating, very nurturing, very sort of warm as well, and someone who really knows their value. So yeah, but let's look at how you will meet. Oop. Wow, you're getting so many cards. Okay, wow. So we have the Four of Wands, we have Justice, and we have the Two of Coins. Okay, so I am getting a few sort of scenarios when it comes to how you will meet. So the first one that is coming through is actually that you may meet this person when you are at some sort of like work event or official like work related party, because we have the Four of Wands that came out, which always signifies some sort of gathering, some sort of celebration, party, coming together, that type of thing. Then we have Justice, which is a card of Libra. So again, I'm just pointing out the zodiacal signs in case you resonate. And so this is where this like official part comes in. So it could be like, you know, something to do with like a legal contracts, that type of thing. So if you are working somewhere, some sort of corporate event, maybe you are running your own business or you are networking, something like that. But most likely, I don't know why, I'm feeling more so that this is like a work thing where you are possibly like meeting people from other departments that you don't usually see, or even like there could be people like outside of the company that you work for, or the collective that you work in, because with the Two of Pentacles there does seem to be this like mixing of like these two different worlds. So it's almost like the mixing of like pleasure and business. And so yeah, it does feel like one of the ways in which you could meet this person is at an event like that. So if you have anything like that coming up, maybe there is some sort of like Christmas party or you know, Thanksgiving event. Even though I do have to admit, I'm not exactly sure when Thanksgiving is. So I do apologize if that is sort of off somehow. But anyway, it just feels like there could be some sort of corporate event or gathering that you attend, and you could be meeting that person there. Also, this is a very specific message, but because we have the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck here, it could be that either when you first meet this person, it's almost like you don't really vibe with them, or there is some sort of like tension in the air, and that's what sort of like draws you into this person, that because it's like it's weird somehow, or you can feel something. But also, I don't know why, but I got this scenario that there may be some sort of like conflict or some sort of disagreement that occurs, like some tension or something like that, that happens during that event. And it's like either you or this person ends up like sort of bringing about harmony again, or balancing that whole situation and like calming things down and bringing things back into an equilibrium. And so that is something that you sort of may notice about this person, or how you may like see them, how they may stand out to you from the crowd initially, or it could be in a way that they see you, or how they notice you. So I don't know, that's, as I said, that feels more specific, but that's something that came through. Now, the other scenario that I'm feeling here is that this could also be talking about some sort of like wedding, or some sort of a wedding amongst your friends or your acquaintances, or even like some of your like family members or relatives or something like that. Because with the Four of Wands and the Justice card side by side like this, it could be talking about an official like milestone. So it could be, as I said, a wedding, a marriage, that type of thing. And so if you have any events like that coming up, it could very well be that that is the place where you end up meeting this person, and where your sort of connection or where your communication begins. So yeah, as I said, maybe more like specific and somewhat interesting messages there, but hopefully, you know, it will make it easier for you to recognize if that is something that you will experience or have coming up for you. Now, let's look at the final question, which is how you can recognize this person, even though I felt like this part already covered that to some extent. So, but let's see if we can get any more details. How will you recognize them, or how you can recognize them? What are the specific signs or signals that you should be aware of in recognizing this person that is your next potential relationship partner? Oh my goodness. Okay. That is way too many. But I did see the Death card, and then we also have the Three of Wands that came through, and then we have Temperance at the bottom of the deck. So with the Three of Wands and the Death card, which by the way is associated with Scorpio, so we're getting even more water sign energy here. Actually, we have a lot of Wands energy, so a lot of fire and a lot of water. But anyway, so I do feel like there is a certain sense of like transformative energy about this person that really like piques your interest, or that you can pick up on as something like special, because it feels like, especially with both of these two cards together, that this person's energy is something that like you haven't really experienced before. It feels like totally new, and like a completely separate energy from anything that you have experienced in the past. So it's almost like you are leaving your past behind and stepping into this whole new vision and future of what relationships could be like, or what a connection could be like. Especially with the Three of Wands here too, it feels like there is almost this like optimism and there is this like inspiration or optimism for the future and what is possible. It could also even be like, again, this is more of a specific message, but it does seem like with this person, when you like connect with them and when you talk to them, you can almost envision or realize that there could be a future with, like you can see a future with this person, or you can easily envision what it would be like to have like specific and serious milestones with them, or go through these like significant life events and experiences with this person. And I feel like it is something that, again, with this Death card, you have never experienced before. This is very, very like new and transformative in its energy and the way that it feels. And also with the Three of Wands, I feel like this person is helping you to expand, or again, like leave something behind, something that you want to move away from and something that you want to move towards. So there is this like, again, this expansiveness, this growth, this development, this opportunity or potential that you feel when you connect with them. Also with the Three of Wands, it could be that you actually end up meeting this person while you are traveling or while you are on a trip. So this whole work party or wedding party or anything like that we were talking about before, it could happen overseas. And so that could also be something that like helps you to recognize that that's the person. But at the bottom of the deck, we also have this Temperance card, which is associated with Sagittarius, another fire sign. And this is talking about, again, like transmutation of like one thing molding into the next, or this integrating and balance and just equilibrium. And I feel like this person could help you to transform something about yourself as well, or to even like heal something about yourself, because Temperance is a very, very healing energy too. But it does signify, again, some sort of like transition and movement, and that seems to be very clearly indicated here too with Death and the Three of Wands. There is clearly movement here. So yeah, it almost feels like this person could help you to like transform your life in some way. So yeah, that's what is coming through here, pile number 1. So hopefully these messages were useful to you, or something. Hopefully they offered you something. But I want to close the reading out with some supportive messages from Spirit regarding this whole reading. So let's see what we can get. Some supportive oracle card messages. Okay. So we have do something for someone. Give your attention to another. And at the bottom of the deck, we have receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is a way to show love. Okay, so we have this do something for someone. And I do feel like this is just an encouragement to, you know, show your kindness, show your appreciation. Again, this could be like opening yourself up to more vulnerability. And that could be something as well that like energetically opens you up to new love. So, you know, even if this is just helping out a friend or letting your family member or someone that is very close to you know that you love them and that you care about them, and just, you know, doing these little acts of kindness or just offering support, right? Or helping them out in some way. Like, I feel like all of this loving and supportive energy is something that could really help to, again, open you up and to enable this energy to come in more quickly. And I also feel with this underlying energy, with receive with love and appreciation, that I do feel like Spirit is sort of urging you to allow other people to be there for you and to help you and to support you when you need it. There could be a bit of a hard time with like accepting help or accepting support that you have. And I feel like Spirit is just urging you to expand upon that, or to start like training yourself in opening up to more support and more warmth and all of that. But yeah, let's also get some last messages from the Romance Angels Oracle cards. So let's see. Okay, thank you. Wow, okay, we have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So yeah, it could... This new person and this new potential connection could come in very soon. But I find it funny that it says clearly decide what you want. Because as we were talking about before, and as this more specific message came through, that, you know, for some of you, it could be that you are not necessarily like hung up on someone, but just there could be this like ambiguous situation with a specific person, and that's what the Seven of Pentacles was talking about, right? Like making this decision to finally like set the record straight and either like move on or to like get more serious. Even though, as I said, for some reason it feels like a moving on to something new. But again, obviously this could be a deepening of the connection with this person if that person sounds like Queen of Wands, this Queen of Cups type energy that we were talking about. But anyway, this card just is clearly encouraging you to, you know, set your sights on someone specific. At the bottom of the deck, we have separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Okay, so again, this feels like it's talking about this more specific situation. So that's kind of interesting that it's coming up. But anyway, I want one more message. So let's see what we can get. One more message, please, for pile number 1. Thank you. Okay. We have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Okay, yeah, so everything seems to indicate that this person could be coming into your life a lot quicker than you can even imagine. And with this romantic feelings card, it does seem like this person is going to stir up quite a lot in you. Because I mean, we had all this beautiful water energy, and it does feel very, as I said, very supportive, very nurturing, and something that you haven't ever experienced before. So it could be somewhat scary as well. And it could be even somewhat like triggering or making you feel anxious. But I do feel like it is actually a very, very good thing, you know, that this is a good sort of unfamiliar. And at the bottom of the deck, we have stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So that is the message that we are ending this reading on. And yeah, so that is it. Pile number 1. Wow, this was such a roller coaster, and hopefully this reading made sense to you. Hopefully you could resonate with it, or recognize something that is useful to you. You know, even if you couldn't really make too much sense of these messages, at least I hope that this reading was insightful or entertaining for you to watch. And as always, I appreciate you choosing to spend your time with me, and I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. So take care, pile number 1. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. So you chose the Rainbow Tarot, which we are going to look at in just a bit, because first we are going to turn our focus towards some pre-prepared oracle cards, and these oracle cards are going to tell us a bit about the most significant recent relationship or love experiences that you have had. And if you haven't had any relationship experiences recently, then this is just talking about past experiences that you have gone through when it comes to relationships and love. And so hopefully after hearing these messages, it will be easy for you to understand whether you are watching the right pile or not. And if it doesn't resonate, feel free to watch another pile. Okay, so we have Healing Chaos, Victory, the Ship or Boat, Woman Holding a Coin, and Focus. Okay, pile number 2, I'm getting quite a few messages here, so strap in because we are going to get into it. First off, I feel you, pile number 2, because it seems like you have been through quite a bit of a ride here, especially with the Healing Chaos and this boat card, because for the first time ever, I think, I am seeing this card for the choppy waters as well that are depicted on here. And so it does seem like your past relationship experiences have been somewhat turbulent. And with this Healing Chaos card, it also feels like there have been very unpredictable episodes through your relationships, or maybe all of the most significant relationships in your life have been somewhat unsteady or somewhat unpredictable, where maybe you can never really know where this relationship is going next. Like there isn't a clear label on things, or things haven't been very clearly defined. Maybe even both of your visions or goals or desires for the future haven't been really well defined. And so it's almost like you were just like drifting in these relationships that don't really go anywhere, or that are just confusing as well. And with this Healing Chaos, it almost feels like, you know, like you have tried, like if you have tried to gain some clarity or have these those conversations, right, quote unquote, that do end up possibly making something a bit more clear, or putting a label on it, or even just trying to map out a course for this connection, or where things could potentially go, like bring some focus to it, right? With this Focus card, it feels like things have almost, you know, become like conflictive, or yeah, like there has been some sort of turbulence or aggression or something like very unexpected, like an unexpected response out of your partner. So that feels like it could be something that you have experienced. Now, another thing that I'm feeling here is we have this Victory card and we have this Woman Holding a Coin. Now, this may be more of a specific message yet again, but I definitely get the sense that for some of you, pile number 2, you have been in relationships, or you have experienced being in a situation where your person has maybe seen you as some sort of a trophy, or some sort of a, just some sort of like accessory to show off, especially if they have been very successful and very like wealthy, very abundant, especially like money-wise and career-wise. And like if they have achieved a lot, possibly also with this victory and both of these cards, you may have attracted some very powerful people, or some very successful, possibly even some very well-known people. That could be a thing as well, especially with this focus card. You may have had like relationships with people who are somehow in the spotlight, in the limelight, who are at the focal point, who do something very significant, or who have very important jobs or very important careers. Maybe that is something that you have been either like consciously or subconsciously drawn to. But I also kind of feel like, and that feels like more specifically again, for those people who have been in relationships with, like prominent people, or very successful people, very wealthy people, or something like that. It could be that it was more important for the people that you were with, or for the partner that you were with, to seem very like successful, very put together, and like your relationship was really great on the outside. But then really maybe like behind closed doors, things weren't as rosy. Because with this card, I also get the sense that, there is a lot that is happening like beneath the surface that isn't really visible. Like we can see these golden sails, and like everything looks very like luxurious and very fancy, but it feels like it's just like an appearance. And then there is so much that you cannot see that is happening beneath the waves. And that's what I sort of feel like you could have experienced as well. In your relationships, pile number 2, that maybe the relationships that you have been in have sort of been very like polished and happy and well refined, like one of those like Instagram perfect relationships, right? That people like look at and covet and are envious of. But then actually what is happening in the relationship itself is like full chaos, right? Like that's what is coming through here. And like if you don't resonate with that part, you can just neglect that. But that's what is coming through here. And another thing that I'm feeling here, especially with the woman holding a coin and focus, is that first of all, this, like, even though this says woman, it doesn't have to mean that your partner has to be female or that you have to be female. It's just coming through as like feminine energy. But again, take it as it resonates. Don't really read the gender here too much. But it does feel like you may have been in a relationship with people who have been very like career focused, or whose main priority has been their job and their income rather than your relationship. So that could be something that you have experienced too, where you haven't necessarily been a priority for the person that you have been with, or that you have had to be the one to like make sure that the relationship is like smooth sailing, and you have had to put in a lot of effort to make the relationship work, and maybe the other person hasn't been that present. So that's one thing that is also coming through. But I kind of get like as a last message that potentially you yourself have been, as a result of going through these like turbulent relationships, and possibly also more like shallow relationships, or just you maybe haven't felt that deeper connection with anyone. And so potentially you have turned your own focus towards your career, towards your income, and just focusing on your material security rather than on love in the recent months or possibly years. And so it could be that you have sort of tried to build yourself up to be more like secure, more independent, more resilient, and less dependent on your partner or the relationship that you are in, because of all of these like turbulences and instabilities that you have gone through, it almost feels like it has taught you a lot about what you can and cannot rely on what you can or cannot trust. And yeah, so with victory, I almost feel like, even though it has been not the easiest journey, definitely, I do feel like you have come out on top from all of these situations and all of these relationship experiences. And you have sort of grown and expanded as a result of it, you know? So yeah, it feels like you have definitely won something, even if it hasn't been the sort of relationship that you have been dreaming of. But if you could resonate with any of these scenarios, any of these messages coming through, then make sure to keep on watching, because we are going to look at who is coming towards you in love next through these tarot cards. And the first question that we are going to turn our focus to is the next significant event in your love life. Whoa, okay. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so with the Knight of Wands coming through here, this is a card of Sagittarius, but this can also talk about any fire signs, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And this is indicating that there is definitely going to be some sort of progress or movement, or even like a new life or new spark that comes into your love life. This Knight of Wands feels like it's an energy that is like actually coming in rather than you going out and chasing something. Because with the Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck here too, it feels like it's almost like the darkest days are past you, or like you have possibly gone through a period where you haven't had too many like love or relationship experiences, or maybe your love life has been quite like dead, if we can say it in a blunt way like that. It just feels like it hasn't possibly been too eventful, because maybe as well all of these, like as I said, these turbulences, these difficult relationship experiences that you have gone through in the past have made you feel like you can't really take it, like you want to take yourself out of the dating game and just focus on something else, because, you know, with the Ten of Swords there is clearly pain and difficulty and hardship here. And so it feels like, as I said, you have gone through it, but now it feels like a new day is dawning and there is a new form of like inspiration that is going to be coming in. So it could be that there is someone who like unexpectedly shows up on your path, or storms into your life, and that like stirs something in you. This could also be some sort of communication that comes your way, or some sort of news that you receive, some sort of invitation even. This could be actually something to do with like your work. So this could be someone who like reaches out to you to start a project together, or pitches some sort of project or some sort of investment opportunity, even though I'm not seeing any pentacles here, but that's just something that randomly came up, so take it as it resonates. But it does feel like this person could be coming in as like something to do with your work, or something to do with a passion project or something like that, and they just like stir something in you, and it may possibly be something that you haven't really felt in a long time. So there is definitely some sort of passion, there is some sort of excitement, there is some sort of optimism. But because the Knight of Wands is a bit of an unstable energy, this does feel like something that just like excites you. This may not necessarily be the person that you end up like going the distance with, but it just almost feels like it's making you feel drawn towards relationships again, or it's like it's sparking some sort of possibility or optimism in you. Because as I said, especially if you resonate with the part of like being out of the dating game for a while and just focusing on yourself and focusing on your money and focusing on your material and physical and all of these like different aspects of your well-being, it could be that you sort of come out of the slump, and it could be because of someone that comes across your path, or someone that like reaches out to you, and they just seem like this fun individual, and it almost like sparks something inside of you, you know, makes you come alive in some way. Or even they could be someone that like comes in as like a friend or someone who possibly is interested in you as well, but it's almost like they urge you to come out, or they urge you to, this could also be a friend as well, it doesn't have to be like a romantic thing, but it feels like they like urge you to come out with them, or to go to some sort of social gathering or party, or something like that, and that like almost like gets you in the door or gets you back in the game in some way. So yeah, this Knight of Wands definitely feels like a positive sort of push towards opening yourself up to love and relationships again. But let's see, what are the actual characteristics of the person that is coming towards you, or the potential next relationship partner? Whoa. Okay. Okay, we have the King of Wands that came out, and the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is actually a card of Leo, but again, we are dealing with the fire element here. So they could also be Aries or Sagittarius, or have significant fire placements in their birth chart. And the interesting thing here is that, so I don't know why, but that's just something that I feel, that the Knight of Wands is most likely a gateway to this King of Wands. So it's almost like the Knight of Wands knows this King of Wands, or it's like a friend of theirs, or like an acquaintance, or possibly like a business partner or colleague, or something like that. And I feel like as you are introduced to this Knight of Wands, or as this Knight of Wands you know, opens the door to this dating world for you, or ushers you into this whole new period of like opening yourself up to dating again, I feel like you will end up meeting this King of Wands through this Knight of Wands person. So anyway, we're talking about characteristics. So the King of Wands is definitely, again, a very passionate, very driven, very motivated, someone who is very confident as well, and very self-assured. They have a very powerful presence. They know who they are. They know what they want. And they are not afraid to take action. They are not afraid to put themselves out there. They are not afraid to take risks. But they definitely have a lot more maturity than the Knight of Wands, and a lot more stability as well when it comes to, you know, actually staying with what it is that they are trying to achieve and putting in the work to get there. Also with the King of Wands, we have an energy of just being very like warm and being very charismatic. Like there is something that is just so magnetic about a King of Wands person. And again, even though we're talking about a king here, this is not necessarily a male. This is just very strong, like masculine energy. Someone who is very like proactive, someone who has a vision, someone who wants to be in control and be in charge of their own life and their own future, and someone who just like makes things happen. But I also feel like there is something about them that like draws people in a way that they may have people who like almost like follow them or look up to them. They may have a lot of friends or just a lot of acquaintances. They may be somewhat like popular or prominent, or at least like very well known in whatever it is that they do, and possibly like they may be very well or very highly regarded in their work as well. And another thing that I love about the King of Wands is that a King of Wands type of person is not afraid to show their affection and to actually let you know that they care. And most likely, because this is the fire suit, they do that through like doing things, showing you through actions. They may not necessarily say things all the time. That's more like a King of Cups type, more like a romantic sort of vibe there. But with the King of Wands, this is definitely being shown to you through action. So yeah, the King of Wands is definitely a very attractive sort of person that is coming through here. And with the Six of Cups, there is this energy of almost like feeling like you know them, or feeling like you have known them in the past. There could be this like familiarity about them, or even just like a very very instant, very easy connection. They also could be someone who is very generous. Someone who, like, especially if they are Leo, right? Or if they have significant Leo placements in their birth chart, they may be someone who, like, expresses their love language through gift giving, or just very, like, openly expressing how they feel. And also with the Six of Cups, like, that's also one of the reasons why I feel like this Knight of Wands could be friends with this King of Wands. And so, like, that's why you end up meeting this King of Wands through them. Anyway, enough about that. So now that we have looked at the characteristics of this person, we are next going to look at how you will meet. So how will you meet this person that is your next potential relationship partner that is coming towards you? Okay, I felt like these two cards wanted to come out. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands, and we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Swords in reverse. Okay, so we got the Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Swords in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of Jupiter, so there is a connection to both Sagittarius and Pisces. But what the Wheel of Fortune is essentially saying is that this meeting is going to take you by surprise, and it is something that you will not see coming. So it is almost like when you least expect it, that's when this whole meeting will take place. And I know it's such a cliche thing, and I know it pisses a lot of people off, but with the Wheel of Fortune, that truly feels like the case. Now, I do feel also that a more specific message here would be that, especially with the Wheel of Fortune, so because this is Jupiterian energy, which is all about the planet, you know, the planet of abundance, the planet of expansion, the planet of growth, there is potentially like some sort of, again, like expansion or growth when it comes to business. So you could have a very fun opportunity. I don't know why, but I'm getting that with the Knight of Wands. You could have a very unexpected, but also like huge opportunity that comes your way when it comes to like your business or your career. You could have a potential to like, you know, move on up move up on the corporate ladder or something like that. And so I almost feel like it's sort of happening when you feel ready to like move on up to the next level, or like you have your eye on some sort of expansion or leveling up, especially when it comes to work, because we have this Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck too. So this is indicating that you could be working on some sort of project or something that has taken you a long time, something that is almost ready to be like launched, or something that is almost ready to be completed. It most likely has been somewhat challenging as well and taken a lot out of you, but it does feel like there could be a possibility for you to expand in some way. And that's when, again, that's how you like meet this person. So through some sort of like work or career expansion. But I also kind of get a more like funky message, possibly more specific again, so it might not resonate with a lot of you, but I am feeling that you could be presented with like an opportunity to travel, or you could think about traveling somewhere as or even if it's not like traveling out of the country that you live in, it could just be like taking a road trip, or just going to like a spa. I don't know why, but I keep seeing like a spa in my head. So you could be deciding to do something fun like that, something where you can like relax and recover with this Four of Swords in reverse, almost like recuperate after, you know, working very hard, or just going through more of these like difficult and stressful times. And so if you do end up going to like some sort of spa, or some sort of, you know, taking some sort of retreat, anything like that, just somewhere where you could take it more easy, where you could just enjoy things more, then it could be a place where you end up meeting this person through like that as well somehow. And I don't know why, I'm just saying it, even though it sounds silly, but it, you know, maybe for someone out there it does resonate. With the Wheel of Fortune, I'm also getting like something to do with establishments of luck. So it could be like a casino, it could be like a fun fair or something like that you end up attending, and you end up meeting that person there. So that it could be like an event or something like that this Knight of Wands invites you to, and then maybe you haven't been out in a while, maybe you haven't had fun in a while or let your hair down in a while, and then that's again how you end up meeting this King of Wands person. But let's move on to the final question and see how you can recognize this person, this King of Wands person. What are any sort of specific signs or signals that you should be aware of that will help you to identify your next potential relationship partner more easily? Okay, interesting. We have the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom, we have the Nine of Swords, and we have Death. Okay, interesting. I'm just chuckling because Death is making quite an appearance. But let's get into it. So I definitely feel like with the Nine of Swords with the Nine of Swords and the Death card, it definitely feels like a bit of a confirmation on the spa or recuperation theme. So it could be that you meet this person and you sort of recognize that this could be the time when you are experiencing some sort of like stress relief, or just, doing something that gets you out of a space of anxiety or getting out of a space of burnout. Because the Nine of Swords is clearly a card of like mental anxiety and just a lot of problems and a lot of mental stresses, and being in this headspace that is not the nicest, not the most conducive, right? So it's very exhausting energy, very tense as well. And so with Death, it feels like you are like eliminating that, or you are doing your best to alleviate that somehow and transform it so that you wouldn't be in this like worked up energy. And because we have the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here too, this does make me think of like self-care and just enjoying yourself. Or if this card would focus, that would be amazing. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, this is definitely making me feel like you sort of enjoying the fruits of your labor, just taking things more easy after putting in a lot of work to get to a more stable and secure place, and yeah, just taking care of yourself and looking after your well-being. And because this is the Pentacle suit, this very specifically talks about the physical body. And so again, I don't know why, but this spa retreat or something like that like actually takes care of your physical body. Maybe you are going out to like get a massage, or maybe this is some sort of a hike or a trip or something like that, like out into nature. Maybe that's something that you are doing as well to like, ground and center yourself and calm yourself down. So that's definitely something that I feel that could help you to recognize this situation. But I also definitely get the sense that this person, when you meet them and as you like talk to them and get to know them more, there is almost this feeling of this person alleviating these stresses or these anxieties for you as well. Like they are making you so much more like confident and just feel a lot better about yourself. It's almost like they have this soothing energy or soothing effect where like as soon as you are around them, things feel less scary, things feel less unsure or unsteady. And it's almost like their confidence has this like rippling effect on you, or like it's contagious. So yeah, anyway, I definitely feel with the Nine of Swords and this Death that you can sort of see yourself becoming more calm, or you can feel yourself easing into a more harmonious state, or just feeling better about yourself, feeling better about things in general. And sort of, yeah, it's almost like they are this transformative energy where they take away worry, and then they instead increase this feeling of possibility, of security, stability, self-worth. And yeah, it's like they can instill in you this feeling that you can do anything, and that you have what it takes, and that you are in a safe and secure space. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling, pile number 2. But let's also close the reading out with some oracle cards that would, you know, hopefully give you some supportive messages regarding this whole reading that we have been going over. So let's see. Okay, so we have choose love. You always have a choice, it should be, but there's a little typo here. Make yours with love. So yeah, I do feel like this is a straight up encouragement from Spirit to tune your focus, or to turn your focus back on like relationships and back on romance, because clearly it feels like your focus has been elsewhere and that you have been working on a whole bunch of other things in the meantime. And that is obviously a very good thing, because it feels like you have gotten yourself into a much steadier and a much like happier place with yourself. But also this just feels like Spirit is giving you a little encouraging push that it is okay to spare some of your attention and focus on love again and on relationships, and really focus on the aspect that is missing from your life. And there is a lot of like this connection that is happening on this card that feels like it's important. At the bottom of the deck, we have embrace your emotions, allow your feelings to surface and be accepted. Yeah, so definitely, you know, you don't have to be this like badass all the time who is just like taking care of business and succeeding and achieving all of these things. And even though, as I said, it's a very good thing and it's a very admirable thing, but also, you know, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and even allowing yourself to like express it or to say it out loud to yourself, to accept and acknowledge that you are missing this intimate connection, or that you are feeling like there is some lack when it comes to love and relationships, and that you would really like to have it in your life. Sometimes we can be a bit, you know, like ashamed to admit that to ourselves, or to say it out loud that, you know, I am ready and I want a partnership, I want a relationship, I want a committed, loving, healthy partnership with someone. Sometimes we can feel ashamed to say that, or even, you know, feel like we are weak, or that somehow makes us feel, or somehow makes us seem weak, that we need someone else, or that we are yearning for someone else. So we may not want to actually acknowledge that feeling is there, but I feel like Spirit is urging you to acknowledge it. And let's finally close out the reading with some Romance Angels Oracle cards too. Let's see what else we can get from Spirit. Okay, so we have separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So, you know, because obviously this is a singles reading and we are talking about relationships that are coming in, it does seem like, sorry, this is not focusing again. It does seem like this is talking about the sort of the period of separation that you have been in, or the period of not being in relationships. Okay, this card just does not want to focus. Hello? I don't know what is up with this camera today. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work with me. Anyway, sorry, can't be bothered. So yeah, this separation energy, I feel like, is something that you have already, you know, gone through. Because at the bottom of the deck we have passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So yeah, definitely. It feels like there is something that is going, again, like as I was talking with the Knight of Wands, right? With this Knight of Wands energy, there is definitely passion that is going to be ignited, or some sort of spark that is going to be lit up in you. And I actually feel like, because, as I said, because this is a relationship reading for singles, this separation card could be talking about your like partnership with your career, or with the heavy focus on your work or your money situation, or just like working on yourself, building yourself up, all of these things. And it does seem like you are sort of taking a bit of a hiatus from that And again, turning your focus on this newfound passion and joy that you are re-welcoming into your life. But I want one more message from Spirit to close this reading out. Thank you. Okay, okay, we have chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Wasn't I saying that about the King of Wands? That obviously they have a very strong, attractive, magnetic aura about them that draws people in. And with this card, it's almost like, you know, Spirit just confirming that you are definitely going to feel a very strong attraction to this person. And it almost feels like an instantaneous sensation, something that you feel very strongly, something that is undeniable, and something that you feel so strongly that hasn't been there in the past. Like, I feel like you haven't felt that sort of connection or attraction to someone ever. At the bottom of the deck, we have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Yeah, so again, there is, again, this message of allowing your emotions to come through and embracing the emotions that crop up in you. So, yeah, it feels like Spirit is really urging you to allow your emotions to be known to you, or to become more evident and to become more clear. And it is okay for you to express them and to feel fully present in this exciting new chemistry, this exciting new attraction that you have with this King of Wands, and just allowing yourself to feel the joy and to feel the possibility. So yeah, we have a lot of very supportive energy and messages here, and I'm so thrilled for you, pile number 2, because it looks like it is going to be a very exciting little journey that you're going to be going on. That's it. I'm going to leave it here, pile number 2. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me, and I hope that this reading was insightful or useful, or at the very least entertaining to watch. And as always, I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 3. So you chose the Unfolding Path Tarot, which we are going to tap into in just a bit, because first we are going to look at some pre-prepared oracle cards, which are going to paint us a bit of a picture about the most significant recent or past relationship or love experiences that you have had. And so as we look into your relationship history, or some of the most significant events, hopefully you will be able to understand very easily whether you are watching the right pile or not. So let's get into it. We have standstill, woman holding a heart, butterfly, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, and inner peace. I am definitely feeling that in this pile, we are dealing with energies that have been stuck for a very long time, or where things haven't really been progressing for a while, most likely many months and possibly even many years. It does feel like in your love life, maybe you haven't had any relationships in a while, or maybe even ever. Although I do feel like, and when I mean relationships, I mean like committed relationships that are more so long-standing and not just like dating or situationships or flings, stuff like that. So it does seem like you haven't been in a committed relationship in a while. And so you may feel a bit stuck. Now, especially that energy is coming through this standstill card over here. And as the name suggests, this is very stagnant energy where things are just sort of, you know, they just are the way that they are. And it's almost like day in and day out, it's the same thing. So there is this unmovability that is present here. And I do feel like with this woman holding a heart, it does seem like you are possibly someone who is very much ready, or you feel like you are ready to open yourself up to love and you are ready to connect with someone, but for some reason it just hasn't happened, or you haven't been able to do that. Or maybe even if you have had your eye on someone, it hasn't been reciprocated fully, or it just didn't go anywhere. Now, even though this card says woman holding a heart, it doesn't have to mean that you are female specifically. It just refers to feminine energy, more of this like nurturing, caring, very dedicated energy. And so one of the messages actually that is maybe a bit more significant is, if you have had in the past, recently or even in the distant past, if you have had a relationship that was very significant to you, and that possibly lasted for quite a while as well, it just feels like there was a significant relationship in your life that maybe you were kind of stuck on for a very long time, or you were unable to let go of that person even after you had broken up, or even after, you know, something happened in the relationship that made it, fall apart. It feels like you were still very much set on that person, and you were having a very hard time getting over them and releasing those feelings. I feel like you had very, very deep-seated feelings that were very difficult to overcome. And so I do feel like, because of the other cards that we're going to be talking about in a second, I do feel like you are now in a place where you are pretty much over that person and over that relationship. But I do feel like there was a very significant person in your past that you have had a very hard time letting go of, and even like recovering from that relationship. Now, I do feel like the focus for you, and I'm just talking about generally now, I do feel like the focus in your love life has been to transform that area of your life somehow, because we have the butterfly here. And I do feel like, especially if you have been, in the process where you have tried to get over someone, I do feel like you have been working on yourself quite a lot, and you have done a lot of work to understand also what happened, and to sort of make peace with what happened and move on. So with this butterfly, there is definitely this energy of transmuting something, or transforming the way that, things were, and just trying to get yourself to a better place. And I also feel like, because of these two cards, there is a very strong message of trying to make sense of the events that you have experienced in your relationships and love life. Because with the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra, there is a very sort of spiritual aspect here of trying to connect to some sort of deeper wisdom, where, it's almost like you are trying to see things from a higher point of view. Like you are trying to find some sort of signals, or trying to find some sort of deeper meaning behind things. So I do feel like possibly as a result, if you resonate with this scenario of a relationship breaking down and you having a hard time getting over that person, I do feel like that event could have propelled you towards more like spirituality, and towards esoteric pursuits as well, possibly. It just feels like something was ignited in you to search for some deeper meaning, or to get some sort of understanding, and possibly even trying to connect to something bigger than yourself, so that you could understand what your whole purpose even is. So it does feel like a lot of introspection, and a lot of, again, like self-development, self-awareness. Progress is something that has been very much a focus when it comes to sort of moving your love life and moving this relationship area along for you, just because I feel like you are somewhat fed up with things just being the same way for a very long time and nothing really moving or happening. We also have this inner peace card. And so it does seem like, again, with the seventh chakra card too, there has been a heavy focus on trying to find the sense of peace and equilibrium within yourself. Also, again, working through some feelings, working through some heaviness that you may have carried with you for a long time. Again, whether you were in a relationship or whether you haven't really been in a serious relationship, it just feels like there is quite a lot of emotion to work through. And you have been doing that. You have been trying to sort of make sense of why you are feeling the way that you are feeling. Is there anything that you can do to, move forward in this relationship area? And I feel like you have tried to do that through self-care, through improving self-love and self-worth, and all of these sort of self-developmental energies or activities. But the bottom line here, pile number 3, is that I definitely feel, especially with this butterfly and this inner peace card, that you are now in a place where you are ready to open yourself up again, where you are ready to move forward, where you're ready to open up to someone or just find a connection that would resonate with you. But I definitely feel that with the 7th chakra here, that you are no longer willing to get into a relationship or to get into a partnership with someone that isn't truly aligned with you and your deeper values. Like there is some sort of up-leveling that you have gone through where you are much more certain about what it is that you want, what it is that you are looking for, what it is that you are willing to accept and tolerate and compromise on in relationships, and what it is that you are not willing to put up with or go through, either again or just in general when it comes to partnerships and the person that you end up being in a relationship with. So there is definitely a lot of growth here. But if you could recognize yourself in this energy, then definitely keep on watching, because we're going to look at some tarot cards next, and we're going to answer specifically some questions about who is coming towards you in love. So first off, we're going to look at the next significant event that is going to be happening in your love life. Okay, we have the Page of Wands and the 9 of Swords. So the Page of Wands is giving me like dating vibes, exploring vibes. Obviously, this is the fire element that we are dealing with here, so it does hint at, passion, at excitement, at fresh new activity, just sort of trying things out and exploring a bit, especially when it comes to the Page of Wands, who is very much in that beginner mindset and just like, knowing that there isn't that much experience, but being willing to take on this studious mindset and just put themselves out there without, being overly concerned about how they are going to be coming across or how successful they are going to be. This is just about going after the experience and not really thinking too much ahead or worrying about what is going to happen. Now, I say that, but at the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Swords. And so there is definitely still some sort of fears and worries and anxieties that could be cropping up for you. And I do feel like this Page of Wands, very strongly, I do feel like this is your energy where you are sort of feeling that like spark or feeling that sort of urge to either like connect with someone or to, as I said, start dating again, or to start doing something that is exciting, or even like picking up a new hobby or something like that in the hopes of meeting new people or meeting like-minded people. Maybe this is also just more about like socializing again, or even taking up like new interests or new hobbies. It just seems like you are getting that sort of motivation or spark to go after like expanding your horizons, not just like sitting around. This feels much more like proactive. But at the same time, as I said, with the 9 of Swords, there definitely seems to be some sort of insecurity that is being cropped up here, or it's almost like these fears are coming up, but you are going after these new experiences anyway, so it's like you are not allowing your fear to stop you from going out there and exploring and trying new things. Now, this may feel like more of a specific message again. But if you have this relationship that, you know, broke apart or something like that, with the Page of Wands, it could be that either that person like reaches out to you or gets in contact with you, because the Page of Wands is also about communication and messages coming through. So they could be contacting you. And I'm not saying that this is, you know, necessarily something about getting back together with you or even like in a romantic capacity at all, even though we are dealing with the wand suit. So there could still be some sort of, you know, some sort of like passion or desire there. But I definitely feel like that message could be somewhat like triggering to you with the Nine of Swords here again. So, you know, I feel like there could be some like wanting to clear the air or wanting to hash something out for the last time, or just like, you know, asking you about something random that again doesn't even have anything to do with your relationship and how things played out. But like that person contacting you could, as I said, could trigger something in you. But I also feel like it could also almost like act as a final sort of push to get you to like start looking for something new. So that's one more specific message. But just in general as well, the Page of Wands could indicate that there is some interest in you, that someone gets in touch with you, that someone sends you a message, or just, you know, sort of gives you hints at being interested in you. And so either you going after, trying to meet new people, or trying to expand your horizons in that way, trying something new, or whether someone getting in touch with you, it does seem like, you know, there are going to be some anxieties triggered. So just be mindful of that. But also with the Page of Wands, it does seem like it's not going to, like these anxieties are not going to stop you. So this spark is going to be lit up in you no matter what. And I feel like this new potential or a new potential path could be opening up for you as a result of either this communication or you going out there and trying something new. So let's look at the characteristics of the person coming toward you. So that is the potential next relationship partner for you. Okay, we have the Hanged Man and we have the King of Wands. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man coming through as the characteristics of the person coming toward you. So the Hanged Man is a card of Neptune, and Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. So they could have significant Pisces placements in their chart, or they could have Neptune in a very significant place in their birth chart. So with the Hanged Man, this is telling me that your next potential relationship partner is someone who is very wise, someone who is almost like able to pierce through the veil or pierce through the like fabric of reality and see things in a deeper perspective. Now, they could also be a very spiritual person, because the Hanged Man has that sort of, you know, energy about it as well. But it just feels like they are so insightful and so, yeah, they just have a very unique perspective on things, and they are so good at also like helping other people to see things from a different perspective, or to open up their minds about what is possible. I also feel like they are pretty like laid back and pretty good under pressure or in like stressful situations, because they are aware of like their limitations, and also about, you know, how life just happens, right? Like they ultimately understand that there isn't that much that they have control over, so they only control the things that they have control over, and everything else they just sort of let be. So I do feel like this is a very sort of a healthy mindset when it comes to, you know, dealing with life circumstances and situations, and especially when things don't go according to plan, or when things take a bit of a weird turn. It's like I feel like this person has the ability to maintain calm and cool, and that they are able to, you know, handle the situation with grace rather than like freaking out or panicking or, you know, starting to do weird stuff. So yeah, and because we have this King of Wands at the bottom of the deck too, they could have a strong like masculine energy, even though this doesn't have to be a male. This is also a card of Leo, but this can refer to any fire sign, sorry. So they could also have Aries or Sagittarius placements that are significant. But it does seem like they are very much like in control of themselves and in control of their emotions and how they express themselves. Now, they could be in a bit of a position of like power or authority as well. So it's like they are used to dealing with problems or finding solutions or just handling stuff in general. And I do also feel with this Hanged Man energy that even though with this King of Wands that there does seem to be a lot of like warmth and a lot of passion and a lot of affection, with the Hanged Man they may like come across as somewhat not like distant, but that they may not come across very strongly, or they may not, you know, like be overly in your face with their emotions and with their interests. So as I said, with this Page of Wands, if someone like gets in touch with you, if this person gets in touch with you, it could be that they send you like subtle signs, not necessarily like letting you know straight off the bat that they are super into you and stuff like that. They may sort of go about it in more like not like sneaky sounds bad, but like creative ways, I guess, where yeah, it's almost like they are somewhat trying to again keep a cool, calm, collected appearance, but at the same time internally they may be like having stronger feelings than it appears on the surface. So that's just something to think about. Actually, I don't know, I don't really like usually do that, but I feel called to go back to like the next significant event in your love life. I actually want to get one more card regarding this Page of Wands. So let's just do it. Let's just go with this feeling. So can we get one more card for the next significant event in pile number 3's love life? Wow, okay. This is way too many cards, so I'm not going to take them. Okay, so we're still getting quite a few cards, but let's look at what we have about this Page of Wands and the significant event in your love life. Okay, so we have the World in reverse, Queen of Wands, and Strength. So yeah, we have quite a few fire sign cards coming out, or fire element cards. At the bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Pentacles. So with the World we have Saturn, and so that is Capricorn or Aquarius. We also have the Queen of Wands, which is Aries energy, and we have Strength, which is Leo energy. So as I said, very heavy like fire sign energy coming through. So as I said, if you resonate with having gone through a relationship that was very significant in your life, and you know, if you had a hard time letting go of that person, it does seem like with the World in reverse, there could be some, like, as I said, unfinished business or something that is still sort of lingering in the air, and that is prompting this person into like getting in touch with you. Or maybe even you have a feeling like you need to get some closure, you need to get something off your chest, and so you are the one who, like, you know, gets in contact with that person. But with the Queen of Wands and Strength, I definitely feel like this is talking about your energy, even though, again, you don't have to be female in order to resonate with this energy. But I do definitely feel like if this person gets in contact with you, or you get in contact with them, it does seem to bring about a certain inner transformation that I feel within you, because the Queen of Wands is so vibrant, so confident, and so like just charismatic and driven and passionate, right? And I do feel like especially with strength as well, there is so much potential for like regaining a lot of strength, regaining a lot of sort of sense of self, and just getting yourself to a more secure place. So, you know, as a result of this communication, it does seem like you could end up feeling a lot more, again, at peace with things, and getting a lot more confidence as well when it comes to, you know, putting yourself out there again, or opening yourself up to new relationships again. Because with this strength, it feels like you have become so much stronger as a result of this whole relationship or situation. And you sort of realize that now. You realize that you have grown. You realize that there is a difference in how you see yourself and how you express yourself. And it's almost like you find this newfound sense of self-worth, or even more so than you have in the past. And if this is not talking about that relationship, if this is just some sort of communication coming towards you, or you, as I said, going out there and trying new things and exploring your horizons, it feels like you are able to sort of see the past experiences or past relationships, or even if you haven't had any relationships, I feel like you were able to see the past in a new way, in a way that like has taught you lessons, and in a way that you were able to utilize those lessons and feel yourself so much more ready as well. And almost like you understand now, like there is some sort of comprehension about why the past has been the way that it has. And it just feels like a lot of building yourself up internally to, you know, be able to face the dating landscape, or again, just allowing yourself to be seen, and being willing to become more like vulnerable, more open to love. And I mean, with the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom here too, this is Capricorn energy, but it's again all about, you know, feeling very worthy, feeling confident, feeling like you know who you are, you know what you deserve, and you know what you are willing to put energy into. So no matter how specifically this Page of Wands manifests in your life, it does definitely seem to bring about or activate like these very, very positive changes in you that prompts you to, you know, be more daring, be more bold, allow yourself to be seen and admired, and maybe even become a bit more flirtatious as well. Especially it feels like that is not something that you have done very much in the past, or you haven't felt comfortable with, you know, doing that. It's almost like you are blooming or opening up. That's what this feels like. And again, with the World in reverse, with that like Saturnian energy being turned upside down, it feels like some sort of limitations are being broken down, or some sort of like inner walls that you have had could possibly be broken down too. But anyway, let's move on and let's look at how you will meet this person that is coming towards you, or your next potential relationship partner. Okay, we have the Emperor, and we have the Star at the bottom of the deck. So we have quite a few Major Arcana cards. Okay, so with the Emperor, we have more Aries energy. Seriously, there is so much fire coming through this reading. So you could have a lot of fire in your chart as well, but I definitely feel like your person is going to have quite a lot of fire in their chart too. So with this Emperor energy, it definitely feels like the way that you're going to meet is through some sort of official capacity. So that could be somehow through your work, or through the company that you work for. This could be even through like your boss or your superior or something like that. If you obviously have closer ties to your supervisor, manager, something like that. But if we are more sort of general, then this could also just indicate that there is something very like intentional and structured about how you meet. So it could be that you sort of take it upon yourself to actively look for ways to connect with new people, as we were discussing about this Page of Wands, right? So if you like start any new hobbies or any new interests, or if you start learning something, or if you apply to, like, I don't know, partake in a course or something like that, it does feel like you could meet that person through that, through like intentional activities. Because we have the Star at the bottom of the deck, which is a card of Aquarius, this could also symbolize that you meet online. So on the internet, you don't actually physically maybe have to go anywhere, but there could be some sort of online course or online training thing or something that you take on, something like that, where you end up meeting this person. And I also feel like if there is someone significant who is like an authority figure, or someone who is very like well established and well respected, you know, who has some power or influence, or who is in a seat of power, maybe even like a bit of a father figure or someone that you sort of look up to. If you have someone like that in your life who has a very strong and powerful masculine presence, you could actually meet this person through them as well, because especially with Aquarius being at the bottom of the deck here, this could be an indication of like the networks through this Emperor person. So that person could be in their like friend group, or again, work with them in some capacity, or collaborate them with something, or on some sort of project. Anything like that. So yeah, these are some of the ways in which you could meet this person. And finally, let's look at how you can recognize this person that is your next potential relationship partner. Ooh. Okay, wow. We have Judgment. We have so many major arcana cards, you guys. It is definitely making me feel, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. It is definitely making me feel that your love life has a very strong, like, divine plan or something like that tied to it, or possibly even like your birth chart could also play a big role in this, like why your love life has been somewhat more quiet and why it has taken you possibly a longer time to connect with someone. But it definitely feels like this moment in time right now, whenever you're watching this reading, it does seem like there is some sort of significant energy at play here that is, you know, that is being put in motion, where you are being like primed or readied for this next connection. So there definitely seems to be divine timing at play here. And again, for things, you know, being slow and stuff like that, everything that you have had to endure and go through, and all of the self-development that you have done as a result, have all been according to plan, and that it has all been because it needed to happen, because you needed to have this space and time to reflect on things and to work on yourself and to get yourself into a much better place within yourself and in relationship to yourself. Yeah, this feels like a very significant energy, pile number 3. But I do feel like with Judgment, which is a card of Pluto, by the way, so there is an association to Scorpio here too. I do feel like with Judgment, there is something that this person awakens within you that is very, very powerful and very undeniable. It's almost like they are able to break down certain barriers, because we have the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck too. And so this definitely feels like, you know, being somewhat worn down, feeling somewhat battered, or just like you've gone through it, right? It hasn't been easy. You have experienced a lot, and it's almost like you are standing on your last leg and you are ready to like give up, I feel like. But then with Judgment, there is this like rebirth energy that occurs. And I feel like this person is almost able to see through you in a very, I don't want to say creepy, because again, that sounds bad, but you know, it's almost like uncanny how well they are able to see the real you, penetrate through the sort of the veneer or the exterior that you present to the world, and they are able to get to the truth of things. Yeah, it's almost like they make you come alive in a sense. And also with Judgment, I definitely feel like this person is going to feel like you have this like soul deep connection to them, or like you are able to connect with them in such a profound way that I feel like there is something that you almost feel like this shift in your life where like everything that you have gone through in the past is almost like swept away or cleared out. And this is like a whole new like blank slate basically. And this person is going to make you feel like so differently about relationships, like so differently, that it's almost like you couldn't even imagine before that relationships like this could exist and that someone could evoke such deep feelings within you. But it's almost like this person is able to make you see the truth about like yourself and your life in a very profound way. And I also feel like they're going to be very aligned with your values. Because again, right, we had the 7th chakra energy, which I was talking about, you know, you feeling connected to something bigger and having higher standards and holding yourself to a higher standard as well. And just sort of, you know, feeling above the like the mundane or the sort of the insignificant things when it comes to dating and choosing your relationship partner. And as I said with this Hanged Man, it does feel like they are more on the spiritual side too. So it's like when you get together, like you align with each other so beautifully and powerfully that again, it feels undeniable, this connection between you. So very, very powerful stuff. As I said, pile number 3, so many major arcana cards at play here, so much powerful breakthrough energy. So yeah, this feels very exciting. But I want to close the reading out with some supportive messages from Spirit. So let's see if we can get some supportive oracle messages. Wow, okay. So you got, 3 cards even. Okay, let's take 3. We have actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. So that's interesting because we have been talking about all this fire energy, right? About taking action, about trying something new, actually doing something, you know, putting yourself out of your comfort zone and just exploring, right? So that feels interesting. We also have the heart of the matter. There is more going on than meets the eye. See, yeah, as I said, this feels very much like divine intervention. So even though things have been quiet and sort of stagnant the way that you have seen things, I feel like behind the veil, there is so much going on and there has been so much happening to set everything up perfectly. So yeah, definitely some transformative energy. And we have receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is a way to show love. Yeah, so I do feel like that's also one of the reasons why you have had this time to sort of be with yourself and work on your self-love and work on your self-worth. That came through several times, right? And I feel that self-worth element is super important so that you could feel worthy of receiving love and appreciation and affection too. And so that's something that I feel like Spirit is sort of emphasizing here as well. And at the bottom of the deck, we have choose love. You always have a choice. Make yours with love. So again, just an encouragement to open yourself up to the possibility of love and to become more in touch with this vulnerable side of yourself, right? So there we go. But I want to also get a few Romance Angels Oracle cards to get some more supportive messages. Any other important messages that we need to hear for pile number 3 regarding their reading? Okay, this one feels like it's wanting to come out. We have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Didn't I just say that? This is crazy. This is crazy. Exactly. Exactly what we have been talking about. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Clearly. So all of this, like, you know, being primed, being, you know, being prepared for this significant connection. With all of these major arcana cards, this feels like so on the nose. We also have keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Yeah, so definitely with this judgment energy, it does feel like it's like a whole, as I said, like a whole awakening moment, right? Where something is just so profound. And so with this card too, it does feel like Spirit is saying that it may be, the person is maybe not something that you expect, but I feel like that's like in a good way. I feel like this person is really going to surprise you. But I want one more. Let's see if we can get one last message. Thank you. Oh, wow. Wow, we have wedding. This situation involves marriage. So, you know, it could be the person that you end up going the distance with, especially if that's something that you want or desire, right? But this card could also talk about, like, you know, I don't know, it may not be something that you necessarily want to hear, but maybe this person has been married in the past, or something like that. And I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying that that's the case. And at the bottom of the deck, we have, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Okay, so it could be a person that you know in some capacity. For some of you, right, that could be the case. But maybe you just haven't actually truly like met them or connected with them. Maybe you've just sort of been at the same party or something like that. Especially, remember, if we were talking about this Emperor person, if you have like someone like that, this Emperor archetype in your life, then it could be a friend of theirs or an acquaintance of theirs or a co-worker of theirs. So it's like, it's almost like you have, you know, run into them in some event or social gathering, or it could even be that you know of them, but you have never actually met them in person and you don't really know them on like a personal level. So that, I feel like, is a confirmation for some of you out there who resonate with this Emperor person being in your life. But yeah, as I said, obviously, with all of these oracle cards too, it feels like a very significant shift is going to occur in your life, pile number 3. And I am so, so excited for you. And I feel like you're going to be so happy, like so happy that you took your time, that you stuck to your guns, that you held it out for someone special and someone truly worthy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So this was an amazing reading. Thank you so much for watching pile number 3, and thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. I hope that this was an insightful, or at the very least entertaining, reading to watch. And as always, I am hoping to see you very soon back on this channel. Take care. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 4. So you chose the Lumina tarot, but we are going to turn our focus towards the tarot cards in just a bit, because first we're going to look at some pre-prepared oracle cards. And if you are not new to this channel, you already know that that's how we usually do things. And through these oracle cards, we are going to get a glimpse into your relationship history. So we're going to look at any significant recent or past relationship and love experiences that you have gone through. And so hopefully you'll be able to more easily decipher whether you're watching the right pile or not. So let's see. We have thriving, the sun, the question mark, the garden and the gate, and wonders. Okay, so pile number 4, I am feeling like I'm dealing with some very successful people in this pile, because we have the thriving card that came out first. And so I do definitely feel like you are someone who is just very, very okay and very secure within themselves. Like, you know what it is that you are doing. You have a very firm grasp on the sort of person that you are. And I feel like you're very comfortable in your own skin. And again, in like what it is that you're supposed to do here, what is your sort of general purpose in life or what you feel called to do. And I feel like generally you were just doing very, very well when it comes to possibly like business or work, career themes, stuff like that. Maybe you also have thriving friendships and just like a very supportive and beautiful social network that you are close to and that you can rely on. It just feels like you are in a good place with this thriving energy, and especially with the sun being here too. This is a very, very positive and optimistic energy, but it also makes me think of like Leo energy, or like a very strong willpower, a very strong sense of self and a sense of ego, like a healthy ego, right? It's like you are so aware of what it is that you are doing, what it is that you want out of life, and how to get it. And I feel like you have been very focused on bringing about possibly again more like material success, or even just like emotional success, right? Just, you know, doing things that make you happy, doing things that make you feel fulfilled, that make you feel like you are having a deeper sense of purpose in this life. And you're just so focused on, again, either your career or your business or your project or your craft or whatever it is that you do that feels very significant, that gives you a sense of self, a sense of worth, and a sense of meaning. But when it comes to relationships, I feel like there could be, you know, they could be a bit of a mystery to you. It almost feels like maybe you haven't really considered or spent too much time looking for a partner, or you know, just looking for a relationship in general, because it just seems like your focus and your priorities are elsewhere. And maybe relationships have never been something that you are like very much interested in, or that you feel like you have to have, right? Because I do feel like there is such a strong sense of independence in this pile that it's not like you really feel like you are missing out on anything if you are not in a relationship, or that you need someone to complete you or something like that. I definitely don't get that sense at all. But I do feel like you are possibly like curious about it, or maybe even, because we're looking at recent energy here too, maybe even recently you have started wondering about relationships, because maybe now you find yourself in a position where you are like financially secure, you are emotionally secure, you are physically secure, and it's like, okay, now maybe I have more time and maybe I have more resources or the capacity to like try out finding a partner, or like thinking about what I would want out of a relationship. And I definitely feel like with the garden and the gate and with this wonders card, that potentially something that may have like brought on this curiosity in you now, or this, again, this wondering energy of like what it would be like, or what you would even want out of a relationship. It could be that maybe you have seen other people have like very good relationships, like very healthy and happy relationships, but then also having people, like seeing people have very like toxic or unhealthy, dysfunctional relationships. And so it's almost like you have sort of been in this observant role where you are very much staying in that comfort zone of yours, where you are, you know, where you're doing what you know how to do, or where you are sticking to your roots, or again, like the things that you are good at, the things that you know, again, just doing whatever your craft is, or working on your business, or taking care of, I don't know, your household, or it could be really anything that relates to how you are used to living your life, and what makes you, you know, feel secure, what makes you feel good and abundant and nourished, and all of those things. But because you can see that this little girl or lady or whoever she is looking out into the field, even though she is very good and comfortable in this beautiful garden that she has created for herself, she's also wondering about what it would be like to go out there and explore something that she has never explored before. So definitely, again, having this like sense of curiosity coming through, and possibly just, again, observing, seeing how other people have their relationships and what you sort of like about it and what you don't like about it. And maybe with this wonders energy too, like there is something, especially, you know, when you see people having like very loving and close relationships, there is something that makes you feel like, okay, maybe I want that for myself too. Or what would it be like if I had a very supportive and loving person next to me by my side who I could share all of this abundance with, and who, you know, we could have like this mutually supportive relationship with, so that we could help each other grow. And it's just this like, yeah, there's just like wondering about it. But I also feel like there is this like darker element to it that refers to why you have possibly been putting off relationships, or just getting into like a committed situation with someone again. Because I feel like as you have observed other people's relationships, there may be, again, like in the instances where people maybe have more of these like dysfunctional relationships, or where people are just really unhappy in like an unhappy marriage, or you know, they are just sort of stuck with each other and they don't even really like each other anymore. If you see those types of relationships, it almost like makes you feel like you don't really understand why people would choose to be in relationships in the first place. It just feels like there is a lot of questions being stirred up in you. And maybe you have been put off relationships because of some of these more like negative examples that you have seen. But at the same time, I do feel like, because we have this question mark smack dab in the center of this reading, that this curiosity of giving it a try and seeing what happens, that seems to be what is almost like ruling the situation for you now, or what has come to the surface most strongly. So that is what I feel for you, pile number 4. If you could resonate with this energy, make sure to keep on watching, because we are going to look at the tarot cards next and digging into who is coming toward you in love. And more specifically, we are first going to start off with looking at the next significant event that is going to occur in your love life. Okay, we have the Two of Swords and the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we have this Two of Swords that came out, and I feel like you are going to be faced with some sort of decision that you are going to have to make. And I feel like it is something that is somewhat difficult for you, because the Two of Swords is always with a bit of an edge to it, meaning that you look at these options and you are not sure which one is the right one. Like, it's not an easy decision to make, but I feel like it is something that is almost like you are being urged, or you are being pushed into this situation where you are forced to make a decision somehow. With the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, there could be some very rapid progression when it comes to your love life. So there could be some sort of event that you attend, or there could be some sort of just a person that you end up meeting randomly, and you know, that you strike up a conversation with, and just things start moving along a lot quicker than you maybe had anticipated. Because the Eight of Wands is very fast moving energy, and it also represents an opportunity here too for things to sort of progress. But again, I feel like it's something that you have to decide whether you want to pursue or not. But with the Eight of Wands, I feel like there's a lot of potential. So if you do decide to move forward with something, with whatever this, you know, opportunity is that is being presented to you, or whatever these options are, it definitely feels like you're going to have the opportunity to possibly like pursue or connect with a person. And if you do decide to pursue that connection, or to see sort of just where it goes, maybe explore it, I do feel like there could be quite a sort of quick progression. But I also feel like on the other side of it, there could be some changes when it comes to like your usual routine or your work life. And I feel like that's really where this hesitation for you comes in, where you don't really know whether you should go with that connection, whether you should explore it further, because maybe you are going to have to make some compromises when it comes to, again, your work or your sort of routine that you usually have. But I want one more card to clarify this Two of Swords, just give us more context about this Two of Swords. Whoa, thank you. Okay. Wow, we have the Knight of Swords that came out in reverse, and we have the Ace of Swords. So with all of this Swords energy, I definitely feel like this is something that you are, that is going to, like, how should I say it? That is going to make you think about things in a different way, or that is going to challenge you mentally. Now, the Knight of Swords is coming through, which is a card of Gemini, but this can also be any air sign. So this could be Libra or Aquarius as well. And I'm just pointing out these zodiacal signs in case you resonate with them, or in case you end up recognizing them in the person that you meet. But it definitely feels like, yeah, like with the Knight of Swords in reverse as well, like there is some sort of disruption. I'm gonna show you the illustration upright so you can see it. There is some sort of disruption that is going to be coming in or placed on your path. And with the Knight of Swords, this could be a Gemini, or this could be, again, any other air sign, a person coming in that is like striking up a conversation with you, or that is maybe even, you know, just letting you know how they feel, or revealing some truth to you, because the Ace of Swords is a card of truth. And this is a card also of revelations, of some new information being revealed to you. So it definitely feels like there is going to be a communication happening where, again, your usual routine is going to be somewhat disrupted, or where there is going to be a new opportunity for you to pursue something. But it almost feels like the ball is in your court. So you get this information, and afterwards you have to decide whether you want to pursue it or whether you don't want to pursue it, and what you want to do with this information in general. But also with the Knight of Swords in reverse, I do feel like there is, like, this could even be from a person that you, how should I say it? That maybe you have had some sort of conversations with already previously, or maybe you have even had some sort of like romantic undertones with, but that has almost like that, it's like you have put a pin in this communication or in this relationship. Even if this wasn't like a relationship per se, but you were just having, again, like conversations with this person, and things were sort of progressing, and maybe at one point you're just like, again, you focused back on your career, or you focused on other things, or maybe this other person had stuff too. So it was almost just like, you know, kind of like left up in the air. But now it feels like there could be some new information regarding that person, or the person could be reaching out to you and just letting you know something significant. And that is something that you have to like make a decision on, especially I feel like if you like started pursuing something with this person, or something already started like progressing, but then it was kind of like halted, because the Two of Swords is also an energy of a bit of a standstill, or things just being somewhat like blocked for a time where there isn't that much movement. So it definitely feels like there is going to be movement now, and you are going to have to make a decision on how you want to proceed. But let's keep going. Let's look at the characteristics of the person that is coming towards you. So your next potential relationship partner. Whoa, okay. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Tower. Okay, interesting. Okay, so the first thing I'm actually feeling with the Three of Pentacles in reverse is that this person may lack patience somewhat, especially if they are coming through as this Knight of Swords person too. They may be somewhat impatient, because the Three of Pentacles in reverse refers to someone wanting to do things very quickly and not really having the wherewithal to stick it out, to, you know, stick to things that take a bit longer, or that require some time investment and some resource investment. It's almost like they just want things here and now. And also with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it could be that they are not someone who always knows how to play well with others. They could be someone who is very like, they just know what they know, and they know what they want. And actually very much like kind of like you, which is coming through, like, as I was saying, that you have you have had your focus and you have been doing what it is that you know and what it is that you want. And just sort of going after it, right? And I feel like with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, this person that is your next potential relationship partner could also have a very sort of solid view on like how they want things to be. And they may be somewhat like independent or hard-headed at times, because we also have the Tower at the bottom of the deck, right? Remember, this is Mars energy, and Mars is the ruler of both Aries and Scorpio. So they could have these placements as well in their birth chart. So they could have a lot of air and a lot of fire. But in general, this Tower energy is making me think that this person can be somewhat like hasty and somewhat intense. It's like they just go after what it is that they want, and they may also be somewhat impulsive, right? Because the Tower is all about like instant destruction, changes, unpredictability, all of that thing, just sort of going after things unapologetically. And so this could be a person that also isn't afraid to pursue what it is that they want. And so in this instance, it also feels like this person is not afraid to let you know exactly what it is that they mean and exactly what it is that they want. I feel like in their communication, when they sort of approach you or when they let you know something important, it's almost like they will tell you flat out that, okay, I like you, I want this thing to move forward, I see this and this and this in our future, and like you have to let me know whether that's something that you want as well, or like we have to get the record straight and we have to sort of be on the same page here. So it's almost like they are very cut and dry and very straight to the point. And yeah, there is no like beating around the bush here. I definitely feel that about this person. But I also feel like there is like a very positive sort of a like a firecracker energy about them that just gets things moving, that gets things out of like a standstill or out of things just, you know, taking forever or taking ages to get someplace. Yeah, they just sort of take it upon themselves to make something happen. And I feel as well with the Tower, it's like they almost have this like no bullshit sort of energy. So if they feel like something isn't working, they are going to voice it. If they feel like something needs to change, they are going to do something about it. They are not someone to get stuck in like a situation that is not going anywhere, or that is not in alignment with where it is that they want to go. And yeah, so that seems like a very powerful person that is coming in for you, pile number 4. And again, I don't know why, but I'm getting more and more this strong feeling that this person is someone that you already have had like some sort of relations or communications with, and that just sort of hasn't really gone anywhere, or that hasn't really, you know, amounted to much. But it's almost like this up in the air energy that is here between you. But anyway, let's keep going. So how will you guys meet? How will you meet this person? Ooh, okay, wow. So we have the 4 of Pentacles and we have the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So we have the 4 of Pentacles that came out. And again, this gives me heavy confirmation that this is someone that is already like someone you know, or someone you, that is like a part of your life to some extent. And because the 4 of Pentacles is essentially an energy of holding on to what it is that you have. And yeah, I don't know, it kind of gives me the feeling that it's almost like you don't even really have to go anywhere, and you don't really have to do too much, because it's almost like this person is already in your life, or that they will approach you. And this is like honestly the first pile that we have had this sort of message in, because in every single pile, at least, you know, if I'm not messing anything up, because these piles can get a bit blurry, but it does seem like in every single pile there has been something about, you know, needing to go somewhere or needing to do something, or having some sort of like proactive role in the coming together with the person. But in your case, pile number 4, I definitely feel like you don't have to go anywhere and you don't have to do anything. Because with the 2 of Cups, again, it feels like there is already some sort of connection of like-minded people coming together and just sort of seeing things, or having this like deeper connection, feeling like there is good communication, like there is something there where, yeah, there is just this like recognition that I feel is present. So I feel like this person could come to you. Now, they could actually even come to you in your home, because there is, like with the 4 of Pentacles, there is an energy of you being in your sort of safe space or comfort zone. Or again, if your comfort zone is like your workplace, your business, something like that, then you could actually, like this person could approach you at your place of business, or again, where you like handle day-to-day things. So yeah, I don't know. That's what it feels like. Let's keep going. So the last question that I want to look into is how you can recognize this person that is your next potential relationship partner, and whether there are any sort of specific signs or signals that you should be aware of. Okay. So we have the 6 of Swords that came out in reverse, and we have Strength at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, see, again, it just keeps coming back to the fact that like there is a connection that you haven't moved on from, and that this person hasn't moved on from. Because the 6 of Swords is essentially a card of like transition, of moving forward to like new things, new experiences, and sort of more subtle or easy waters. But when it comes out in reverse, it's basically saying that there is some unfinished business, that it's not so easy to just leave behind things that you have gone through. And so I feel like you can recognize this situation because it's something that, again, has unfinished business, or something that you have already been a part of, again, to some extent. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Strength, which is a card of Leo. So again, we are getting this heavy fire sign energy. And basically what this Strength card is saying is that there is some element of like having courage, or overcoming a part of yourself, and overcoming some sort of like baser instinct. So it could be that, as I said, it could be that this person like almost confronts you with this truth or with this information, and pushes you into a corner of like, okay, you need to decide now, or you need to make some sort of decision and say what it is that you want, because like we can't stay in this like, are we or aren't we, like in this ambiguous state forever. So it could bring about this sense in you where you may feel like, again, like you are not sure of what you want to do, right? Because as I was saying with the 2 of Swords, it feels like this is not going to be a super easy decision for you to make. But with this Strength card, it definitely feels like you have the capacity to do that. You are in control of your emotions. You are in control of your impulses. You just maybe have to confront some of these fears that could be coming up because of, again, like you necessarily not having too many experiences or too much confidence when it comes to being in relationships, because it's something that you haven't really done. But I feel like you are, as I said, I feel like you are very much able to do that. And it just requires some sort of self-discipline. That's what is coming through pile number 4. But I want to close the reading out with some supportive oracle card messages from Spirit regarding this spread. So let's see what we can get. Okay. We have number 11, which is, by the way, a master number and a soul journey number. So very significant energy. Look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. Oh my goodness, this feels so crazy because we just ended the reading with the Strength card. So I'm kind of loving that this message is coming through. So yeah, Spirit is urging you to have more faith in your resilience, right? Like, you have all of this power and all of this confidence when it comes to your sort of day-to-day activities and everything that you do in business or in work, in your career, or just in sort of things that you take care of on a daily basis. So just trust that you are able to handle whatever situation comes up for you in like the romantic field as well, because you're just a strong individual. And yeah, I feel like your fears, you know, are possibly not as powerful as you may feel like they are for the time being. And they don't actually have as much power over you. So yeah, this is a lovely message. And at the bottom of the deck, we have honesty is essential. Speak with love and truth. Well, would you look at that? Haven't we been talking about expressing your feelings and all of that? Like, we actually had the Ace of Swords, right? That's what we started off with the Two of Swords and the Ace of Swords, and just having this sense of clarity and having this sense of very honest communication. And I feel like Spirit is just urging you to reciprocate that, to not be afraid, to be very straightforward and honest about how you feel and what sort of like second guesses you may be going through, or anything like that, right? What sort of inhibitions you may have internally, or what some of the problematic areas for you could be, things that are, you know, making it difficult for you to decide with this Two of Swords on how to proceed, all of that. I feel like you are definitely going to receive some honesty and some truths, but then you are encouraged to pay that back in kind, I hope that's an expression. But I want to get some last oracle card messages from the Romance Angels oracle cards. So let's see what else we can get. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I already saw them, but okay. I'm going to read them to you. I'm not going to take them because they just sort of flew out, and we have so many. We have wedding. This situation involves marriage. Playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And past life relationship, you have known each other before. So these three cards came out as well, but they came out in like upside down. And because I saw them as I was picking them up, I just wanted to show these cards to you as well. But yeah, I'm finding it funny with the past life relationship message, that again, you have known each other before. That's kind of funny to me. But anyway, we have true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. So very sort of big promise here of actually finding someone that you are very much compatible with. And because, yeah, I think I even said that when we were looking at how this person comes across, or what sort of characteristics they have. It felt very much like similar to you in some way. So yeah, I feel like that is a confirmation. And then we have keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Yeah, so, you know, I do feel like, as I said, I do feel like this person almost like pushes you, or like triggers something in you. They like push you out of your comfort zone. And that's what I feel like this card is saying. But like, to keep an open mind in that regard, that they may not be someone that you are used to when you talk to people. And I feel like that unconventionality is actually something that is what ends up being very, very attractive to you. At the bottom of the deck, we have healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So, you know, this feels like more of a specific message, but take it as it resonates. As we were talking about, like, you witnessing other people's relationships from afar and seeing the dysfunctional connections play out, and possibly like, sorry, this isn't focusing, and possibly like deciding to keep your distance, or just like stay out of messy relationships for as long as you possibly can. Like, that is something that I feel with this card. So if you have seen messy relationships based on your parents, and you have seen maybe your parents went through a divorce, or maybe you know, they just had a really crappy relationship, and that's the example that you grew up with, and that's maybe what programmed you into feeling like, okay, I don't want to deal with that, I will just deal with like my career and my like other stuff. Then I feel like this is what is like spirit is encouraging you to sort of deal with, so that you would be able to move past this internal block and actually open yourself up to relationships, and see that they can actually be really fulfilling and loving too. So yeah, but that was more of a specific message that came through here. But anyway, yeah, that's it. I'm going to leave it here, pile number 4. This was such an exciting reading, and I'm so happy for you, because this feels like you are heading down a very cool and exciting potential new relationship. I thank you for choosing to spend your time with me, and I hope that this reading was useful, insightful, or at the very least entertaining to watch. And as always, I am hoping to see you back on this channel very soon. Take care. Bye bye.